Friends, before starting today's horror story, I would like to tell you a very interesting stat. 80% of our viewers who watch our stories haven't subscribed to our channel. And if you are one of them, you have to do a small task where you have to click to the subscribe button and also press the bell icon so that you are the first to get the notification as soon as our video arrives. Three Kings Chapel. Places like temples, mosques, and churches are often believed to radiate powerful energy that wards off negativity. However, there's a church in Goa that challenges this belief. Known as one of the world's most haunted churches, it has left many wondering about the mysteries that surround it. Stories of eerie events and supernatural experiences add to its chilling reputation. Would you believe such a sacred place could hold such haunting tales? This story is about three friends, Jim, Harry, and Sam, who decided to visit Goa for a fun vacation. A trip to Goa with friends is on almost everyone's wish list, so naturally Jim, Harry, and Sam were thrilled about their plan. They rented bikes upon arriving in Goa and began exploring its stunning beaches, landscapes, and vibrant atmosphere. One night, after enjoying a lively party, the trio started heading back to their hotel. However, they lost their way in the dark. It was late at night, and as they rode through the dense forest areas of Goa, they realized their phones had no network. Without internet access, Google Maps couldn't help them. And to make matters worse, they couldn't find anyone on the deserted roads to ask for directions. Feeling lost and unsure, they kept riding in the hope of finding the right path. Suddenly, Jim spotted a bright light shining through the darkness. He turned his gaze toward the source and noticed a beautiful church sitting atop a hill. Bathed in moonlight, the church looked enchanting and peaceful. Jim suggested they head there, thinking they might find someone inside who could help them return to their hotel. Harry and Sam agreed, and they turned their bikes toward the church. But unknown to them, the church wasn't ordinary. They were standing in front of the Three Kings Chapel, the world's most haunted church. Legends say that 200 years ago, three Portuguese kings lived within its walls, and their dark history left an eerie presence behind. The three kings fought fiercely over the years to gain control of the area. Their rivalry only grew stronger, leading to endless battles and tension. In the end, one of the kings devised a dark plan to claim victory. He poisoned the food of the other two kings and their families, killing them all. But his triumph was short-lived. Soon after, the king began seeing the spirits of the two kings he had murdered. These ghostly visions haunted him day and night, driving him to madness. People say that in his insanity, the king would attack anyone he saw with his sword, blinded by his growing paranoia. His condition worsened until, one fateful night, he ended his own life by consuming poison. Since then, it is believed that the restless souls of all three kings still wander through the church, unable to find peace. Unaware of this grim history, Jim, Harry, and Sam stood in front of the church at midnight. The surroundings were eerily silent, and not a single soul was in sight. Jim thought there might be someone inside the church who could help them find their way back to their hotel. He tried opening the church door, but it was locked. Determined, Jim started walking around the church, looking for someone who could assist them. Meanwhile, Harry and Sam, unaware of the sinister atmosphere, were busy clicking pictures of each other, laughing and enjoying the moment without realizing the danger that surrounded them. While Sam was taking pictures of Harry, he noticed a white shadow standing behind Harry in one of the photos. Alarmed, Sam quickly moved his phone away, and to his shock, the shadow disappeared. Just then, the battery on Sam's phone suddenly died, and the device switched off without warning. Meanwhile, Jim, who had been wandering around the church in search of help, returned to the main door. To his surprise, the door which had been locked earlier was now open. Though he felt a strange unease, Jim decided to step inside the church. As Jim entered, he found himself in a large, dimly lit hall. The silence of the place was broken by the sound of footsteps echoing from somewhere deeper inside. Curious, he began to follow the sound. Soon, he came across a man kneeling in front of the cross, praying. The man's attire was peculiar, resembling the clothes of a king from centuries ago. Jim stood silently near him, waiting for his prayer to end. Outside, Harry and Sam stayed by the church, waiting for Jim to return. As they waited, Sam's attention was drawn to a large tree nearby. He stared at it intently. When Harry asked him what was wrong, Sam replied that he could see a white shadow sitting on the tree. Harry felt uneasy but saw nothing when he looked at the tree himself. Dismissing it as a joke, Harry turned back, only to freeze in shock. Sam's eyes had turned bright red, and he was staring at Harry with a terrifying expression. Harry called out to him twice, but Sam didn't respond. He simply continued to stare, unblinking and unnerving. When Harry tried to shake Sam out of his strange behavior, Sam suddenly turned aggressive and shoved Harry with such force that Harry stumbled backward and hit a tree. Sam had completely lost control of himself and appeared to be in a trance. Without saying a word, he began walking toward the edge of the hill, his movements slow but deliberate. Harry, still recovering from the push, watched in horror as Sam reached the very edge of the hill and, without any hesitation, jumped off. Harry was frozen in shock, unable to process what had just happened. After a few moments, he snapped out of it and rushed to the edge, desperately looking down to find Sam. His heart sank when he saw Sam lying motionless on the road below. But what caught his attention was the faint white shadow hovering near Sam's body. As Harry focused on the shadow, it disappeared into the night, leaving him even more terrified. Though overwhelmed with fear and confusion, Harry managed to pull himself together. He quickly climbed down, placed Sam on his bike, and sped off to the nearest hospital. Meanwhile, inside the church, Jim was still standing near the man who was praying in front of the cross. The church, which had been eerily empty moments ago, was now strangely filled with people, figures that didn't look human but otherworldly and unsettling. Unaware of their presence, Jim kept his attention on the man kneeling in prayer. After waiting for a while, Jim finally spoke up, saying, "I require a little help from you." As soon as Jim uttered those words, the man turned his neck completely upside down, revealing a horrifying face. His eyes were glowing red with rage, and his expression was one of pure malice. A chill ran down Jim's spine as he froze in fear, unable to look away. Just as Jim took a few steps back, he bumped into the strange figures that had gathered behind him. Turning around, he saw a crowd of ghastly beings staring at him with sinister intent. Before Jim could react, they all pounced on him, their shadowy forms engulfing him. Leading them was the man in the kingly attire who walked toward Jim with deliberate, menacing steps. Overcome with terror, Jim let out a loud, desperate scream. Sometime later, Harry returned to the church, bringing a group of people with him. He had admitted Sam to the hospital and learned from the locals about the dark and haunted history of the Three Kings Chapel. When Harry and the others entered the church, they found Jim lying unconscious on the floor. Though his body had no visible wounds, his face looked deeply troubled, as if he had been through an unspeakable ordeal. After regaining consciousness, Jim recounted everything that had happened to him. His story left everyone horrified. While Jim and Harry had narrowly escaped with their lives, the night claimed Sam, who succumbed to the horrors of the Three Kings Chapel. What do you all think? Was it a mere coincidence, or is the Three Kings Church really haunted? Let us know in the comments section. If you like the story, then do subscribe to our channel, Bloody Monday, and keep watching for more such spine-chilling horror videos. Please do share the videos with your friends and family so that we could get motivation for uploading more of such spooky videos. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on any of our eerie, heart-pounding videos. Keep watching and stay brave.